Former President Donald Trump has posted a $175 million bond in his New York civil fraud case. This prevents New York Attorney General Letitia James from seizing his assets. This while Trump appeals the nearly $500 million judgment against him. The former president secured the bond thanks to a billionaire supporter's insurance company. For more on this, we're joined by CBS News investigative reporter Graham Cates. Thanks so much for being with us, Graham. Start by explaining why posting this bond was just so crucial for Trump.
Well, this is a really important step in terms of forcing the state of New York to avoid taking some of his property. Trump is appealing this judgment in the fraud case. And while he appeals the judgment, if he wants to keep the state from collecting on this enormous amount of money by seizing property or assets, he has to post this bond. And now he's able to proceed with his appeal without worrying about the state doing what it was within its right to do, which was start seizing assets.
You know, there was so much speculation leading up to this date about where Trump was going to get the money from. Would he sell shares of Truth Social? Would he use campaign dollars? Would he sell some properties? So where did he end up getting the money from?
So this bond was posted by a company called Knight Insurance, and the chairman of that company told Forbes magazine last night in an interview that Trump posted a combination of cash and investment grade bonds as collateral. What was really interesting was that in a previous filing, the Trump organization had listed more than 30 insurance companies that it had reached out to for this bond, and Knight wasn't one of those companies. And what the chairman said in this interview with Forbes was he actually reached out to the Trump organization at some point after that and said, I think my company is the one for you. And then they said they did the deal pretty quickly and got it together.
Interesting. In a separate legal case, Graham, a New York judge has now expanded a gag order on Trump in his upcoming criminal hush money trial. Walk us through what this means.
Sure. Trump was already, as of last week, barred from making comments about potential witnesses in the case, staff for the district attorney, staff for the court, family members of those people that I just mentioned, but not barred from making comments about the judge, Juan Merchan, or Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg. And what had happened since was that kind of day after day, Trump was making social media posts about the judge's daughter, who works for a consulting firm tied to the Democratic Party. And this included posting a reference to a Twitter page that was purported to be her that posted a photo of Trump behind bars. And it turned out that that was a discontinued and manipulated Twitter account that she no longer has anything to do with. It included posting a link to an article that had a photo of the judge's daughter. And so now Trump is no longer allowed to continue making those attacks on this family member of the judge or any other family members.
And how did the judge explain this expanded gag order? Because as you described right there, it got pretty personal.
Yeah, this is really interesting. The judge said that he saw this as an attack on the rule of law itself. And his concern was that for any kind of random average person who might end up involved in this trial, in particular potential jurors, he was worried that they might see these attacks and recognize that not only themselves are vulnerable, but their families as well. And that he said, that's not how this can work. We can't have potential jurors worrying that Trump might come after their family members in social media posts.
Okay, some great info there. Graham Cates, thanks so much.